following is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee. Welcome into a Thursday edition of Main Street Sports. Today on the program, we will visit with Lipscomb University baseball coach Jeff FOREHAND in our Coach's Corner. Also, we will visit in the second hour with ex-Braves reliever Eric O'Flaherty. Also, NCAA football rules have been updated. News, Jay Wright saying enough is enough. Interesting. We'll talk about that and so much more. This is Main Street Sports today on this Thursday, April 21st. Now, let's get you live to the Hall of Famer and Sports Writer of the Year, Mo Patton, with the Sun-Dry Kid from Alabama, Chris Yao, in their matching tops today.
That wasn't a thing. That was an accident. We were hoping no one would notice.
Work uniform day to day.
Mo walked in and I was like, how did we do this? We've not worn these things in forever. It's the weather outside. It's so nice out, man. You could not beat it. And it's going to be a great day for a lot of high school action, baseball and softball outside, soccer as well. So we'll get to today's schedule and yesterday's results here in just a moment, but we need to start, Mo, with our top story. The opening tip for today is it is possible to retire without making your conference foes give you a present, apparently.
Well, not all conference foes necessarily do.
There's that. Jay Wright taking his ball and going home. And
again, as I tweeted last night, the news isn't that Jay Wright is retiring. The news is that Jay Wright is 60 years old.
Yeah, right. I mean, he looks my age.
Never would have guessed it. I never would have guessed that. Yeah.
The dings work today.
I'm not down on Krzyzewski. I mean,
no, I'm just,
yeah, but a lot of folks are. I mean, I saw that last night when this was coming out. Somebody said, you don't have to take a victory tour. No, you don't have to, but
I mean, you don't
not have to.
It's okay if you do.
Yeah.
Chipper Jones did it. I mean, I'm not mad.
I mean, I think it's just who those guys are. Jay Wright is just a blend into the woodwork kind of guy. Mm-hmm. Those suits notwithstanding.
Yeah. Well, fantastic coach for many, many years, 21 years.
Fantastic wardrobe.
Yeah. And congrats to Jay Wright. We'll talk a little bit more about that later in the show. It's really interesting how quickly Villanova had their guy. So we'll get to who the Wildcats hired and much, much more. Again, we've got some the rules updates from the world of college football. Should be fun. Braves and much more. So we'll get to all of that in the show. But for now, we need to take you back to the Berg and send it to JP, who has yesterday's results and today's schedule on the rundown.
This is the rundown. All right, so we've got a very busy rundown, as you might expect. Let me slide in there. There we go. All right, there we go.
Oh, there you are. Hey, what's up?
Yeah, we'll give you guys a break from that. All right, starting off the rundown, baseball results from yesterday. Beach over McGavock, 10-0. Blackman, 4-1 winners over Riverdale. It was Ravenwood, 21-1. That's a baseball score over Columbia. Murfreesboro Central Magnet, 11-3 over Community. Creekwood down White House, 4-3. Clarksville, 11-0 over Dixon County. Franklin Road Academy shut out by Friendship Christian, 5-0. Hunters Lane the same by Hendersonville, 16-0. Siegel, 13-11 winners over Independence. It was Mount Juliet, 7-3 over Lebanon. Lipscomb Academy 5-1 winners over CPA. Good Pasture 13-1 over Nashville Christian. Summit 11-1 over Nolensville. Oakland falls to Rockvale 4-3. It was Pope John Paul II 4-2 winners over MBA. Portland 5-1 winners over East Robertson. Station Camp down by Gallatin 7-6. And Brentwood over Stewart's Creek 12-2. In high school softball from yesterday, Davidson Academy 12-2 winners over Clarksville Academy. It was Murfreesboro Central Magnet 13-0 over Laverne. Lincoln County 17-0 over Spring Hill. McGavock shut out by Gallatin 14-0. Greenbrier 19-1 over Portland. And Columbia 15-2 over Ravenwood. All winners there yesterday, scoring in double digits. Impressive in softball yesterday. A lot of runs scored. Boys soccer from Wednesday, Laverne and Mount Juliet, the only game in Middle Tennessee. They play to a 2-2 draw. College baseball, NAIA, it was 18th ranked IU Southeast 18-8 over Cumberland. College softball last night on ESPN, number 3rd ranked team in the country, Virginia Tech over the Lady Vols 5-2. Belmont shuts out MTSU 4-0. In Major League Baseball, the Dodgers best the Braves yesterday 5-1 before the Braves headed back east. And the Sounds last night, with another win, they defeat Charlotte 8-1. On a good roll are the Sounds. We'll talk with Jeff Him tomorrow, play-by-play voice, so tune in for that. High school schedule today, baseball, Whites Creek at Antioch at 4, also at 4, Davidson Academy at DCA. A couple of other games throwing out their first pitch at 4 o'clock, Brentwood at Hillsboro and Wilson Central at Soddy Daisy. 4:30 action this afternoon, Brentwood Academy at Innsworth, Good Pasture at Father Ryan, NBA hosting Pope John Paul II. Also Mount Juliet Christian over University School, taking on University School in Nashville. It is Westmoreland at Smith County at 5 o'clock. It is Cheatham County at Springfield. Also Summertown hosting Wayne County. Hickman County is at Santa Fe. Zion Christian hosting Providence Christian. At 5:30, you'll see Cascade at Colioca. At 6, the following games will commence. West Creek at Clarksville Academy. Clarksville Northeast hosting Stewart County. Blackman at Riverdale. Oakland at Rockvale. Joe Burns hosting Trousdale County, and Independence will be at Siegel. At 6:30, White House Heritage at Portland. Loretto hosting Collinwood. Lipscomb Academy at CPA. DCA hosting Tennessee Heat. Hillwood at Fairview. Giles County hosting Spring Hill. And at 7 tonight, Mount Juliet will be at McCauley. Dixon County hosting Greenbrier. Wilson Central travels to Soddy Daisy. It is Christian Community at White House. And also playing today, Centennial and Page. Eagleville, it will be at Forest. Check your local listings and front office for game times for those two games. Softball today. 4 o'clock start. We'll see Mount Juliet Christian at Christian Community. At 4:30 is Lipscomb Academy at Brentwood Academy. Also at 4:30, you'll see Glencliff at Hume Falk. Hunters Lane hosting Beach. Innsworth is at Harpeth Hall. St. Cecilia Academy welcomes Pope John Paul II. At 5 o'clock, a few games include Watertown at Westmoreland. White House Heritage at White House. Grace Christian Franklin travels to Zion Christian. Summertown hosts Giles County. Ravenwood at Nolensville. It is Lewis County at Santa Fe. It is Mount Pleasant at Loretto. Greenbrier welcomes White House. Summit is at Independence. Smyrna at Antioch. That's a 6 o'clock start. Also at 6, Richland at Columbia. Colioca hosting Cornersville. Ezel Harding at DCA. McGavock is at Hendersonville. Stewart's Creek is at Laverne. At 6:30 tonight, you will see Riverdale at Blackman. Oakland at Green Hill. Rockvale at Siegel. Marshall County at Spring Hill. And then at 7, Lawrence County is at Tullahoma in the Battle of the County Cats and the City Cats. Trousdale County at Gallatin at 7. Busy action on the pitch in boys soccer today. Page at Murfreesboro Central Magnet at 4:30. Several 5 o'clock starts include, we've got, thank you very much for that help, Good Pasture at Nashville Christian. Friendship Christian at DCA. Summit at Spring Hill. See, it's a team effort here today. Love that. People out there don't have a clue what I'm talking about, but I know it. Antioch at Hendersonville. By the way, 5 o'clock, Curry Ingram at Zion Christian. Let me get that in. 6 o'clock, we've got Antioch at Hendersonville, Lebanon at Mount Juliet. Also, Pope John Paul II versus CPA. Springfield is at Greenbrier at 6:30. Also at 6:30, we'll see White House at Valor Collegiate. 7 o'clock, first touch tonight include games Martin Luther King at West Creek. Brentwood hosting Rossview. Ravenwood in the Muletown to take on Columbia. Montgomery Central at Fairview. Gallatin welcomes Dixon County. Station Camp is at Merrill Hyde. Oakland is at Riverdale. And Creekwood will be at Sycamore today. Check your local times and your front office for first touch on that one. Game 3 of the Western Conference playoffs featuring the Memphis Grizzlies and the T-Wolves, 6:30 tonight on TNT. And stay through, by the way, for the pregame and the halftime and the postgame with EJ and Chuck and the guys. Really good program. Pro baseball tonight, Charlotte still in Nashville to take on the Sounds. It'll be Lindblom for Nashville. Bloom,
it's
thank
weird.
you.
It sounds like two O's, but there's only one there. I don't know.
You'll figure. He's on the mound for Nashville, and for the Knights, Charlotte Benjamin. That is a 6:35 first pitch, and that is your rundown for this Thursday, April 22nd.
First.
Today's the 21st.
That too.
It's a National Drug Test Day.
Following 420.
There you go.
Tonight's Sounds game on Throwback Thursday might be a quick one, with Wes Benjamin coming in with a 1.80 ERA. Josh Lindblom boasting 0.87. One of those.
You could get a Maddox tonight if you're not careful.
Greg Maddox and Juan Guzman or something. It takes you longer to get to the stadium than it does to watch the game. So should be a good one. And as tonight, again, the Sounds and the Knights, 4 in a row for the Sounds. Their scoreless streak ended last night at 31 1/3 innings in a row. So got into the 5th last night before giving up a run. So great job by the Sounds. And if you want to watch some great pitching, man, the Brewers organization certainly has it.
They're throwing some arms at you.
No doubt. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to have Lipscomb University baseball coach Jeff Forehand. He'll join us on Coach's Corner, so stick around. We'll also hand out some hardware, so we'll be right back on Main Street to Sports Day, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net. Welcome back into Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint. Chris Yao alongside Mo Patton here, and glad to have you guys with us. And should be a pretty great little segment here, Mo, as we get a chance to welcome in a fantastic guest and hand out some hardware. So why don't we start with the hardware and tell you about our End-to-Win Life Team of the Week.
Our End-to-Win Life Team of the Week this week is the Independence Eagles baseball team. Went 4-0 between the raindrops last week, sweeping a District 12-4A series from Columbia Central and also defeating region rival Brentwood. So Eagles soaring to a 4-0 record last week to claim End-to-Win Life Team of the Week honors.
That's right. And of course, our title sponsor, Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint, also gives out the weekly Player of the Week award that you can find each week in Main Street Murray's print edition. This week, we hit back to Zion Christian.
We do. Jake Richards with the Golden Foot Award, I guess. 5 goals in 2 games as the Eagles split contest against Culleoka. They defeated the Warriors or the Blue Devils, whichever they are, and lost to Lawrence County. But Jake scored 5 goals in those 2 games, including a hat trick in that 7-1 win over Culleoka. So congratulations to Zion Christian's Jake Richards, the Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint Player of the Week.
There you go. There is some hardware now. Lipscomb University is getting ready for their weekend series with the Jacksonville State Gamecocks, and sure that's going to be a fantastic series. And to talk about it, we have on the line with us on Coach's Corner, presented by From the Heart Cafe out in Chapel Hill. If you've not gone to see Renee and the gang at From the Heart Cafe, please make sure to go see her. Again, some of the best burgers and desserts this side of the Duck River or that side of the Duck River. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter which side you're on. Great burgers, great desserts. Lipscomb baseball coach Jeff Forehand joins us now. Coach, how are you?
Hey, doing great. Thanks. Appreciate you guys having me on.
I think a better question may be, where are you? Because when we set this up, he said, we'll be on the bus. So where are you guys right now, Jeff?
Well, we are almost to, where are we? Going to Fort Payne. We're going to stop at Fort Payne. So we're going Chattanooga way rather than going to Little Birmingham.
Well, yeah,
so
if you're going to get off,
cutting through that way.
If you're going to get off and exit, you better get off now because there ain't one for the next 30 miles till you get to Gadsden.
That's what we hear. So we're going to out move around a little bit before we go over to their beautiful park and work out tonight. So looking forward to that.
And Chris being an Alabama native, he can appreciate and relate to this. But I've only been to Jacksonville State a couple of times, and getting there is half the battle, I guess, from here in particular.
There's no easy way.
You're right. There's no good way. So y'all are going down to Chattanooga or have gone down to Chattanooga, and then you're taking 59 across?
Yeah.
That's what it looks like. Yes, sir.
Okay. Have fun with that. A hot Lipscomb team going in here, having won their last 4 games after getting a weekend sweep this past weekend and then a midweek win over Western Kentucky, which as an MTSU graduate always does me good. So got to feel good about the way you guys are playing going into this series, Jeff.
Yeah, we're playing a little better. We started off, revamped our conference, and now we play we've got a big conference, and we've got a East Division and a West Division. So we play everybody in our division twice this year. That most likely will change when Austin Peay joins next year, and we have a few more teams. But hopefully we get back to, we don't play any of the schools in Florida this season, so it's kind of an odd setup this time. So we're going to start in the second round. Jacksonville State put it on. It's the first time back 5 weeks ago. So we are playing a little bit better since we played them first conference series out of the gate. But I mean, they're a good team. Got a gorgeous park, great coach. So we got to just keep playing well. Just keep, we talk to them all the time about you just got to play well. It doesn't matter who you play. You just play well, and you got a chance to win the game. So it doesn't matter if you're playing Power 5, X, Y, or Z, or playing somebody in a conference because everybody's good. And if you don't play well, it won't work out. So we have been playing better, and thanks to you guys for noticing.
Well, right. I mean, coming, like you said, 5 weeks ago, got swept at home by Jacksonville State. But, outside of that first game where you got beat 10-1, it's still competitive through the last two, and got to feel good about how different this team is. What is different about your team right now and pitching wise to keep you guys in it?
Yeah, we trying to get your pitching straight. Once the conference started, and we've got some guys in some different roles and alternating some roles and switching some roles around, and we feel like we made an adjustment. Probably the second week of the conference schedule, and it's worked out pretty good for us. We got some guys that were starting that are in the bullpen now, and some guys that were in the bullpen now starting, and I think we're getting a little bit better production out of the hole. We do it that way. So again, just not that we didn't think it was going to work the other way, but the production has just been better. From the different roles that we've got guys in now. So, basically, keep knocking on wood, and hopefully we can keep that pace up with what the guys been doing, and guys have been starting and been taking us to a good spot. And then, once we get to our bullpen, I think that's one of the strengths of our team is that we've got some depth down there and some guys that obviously some guys late, but also some guys that can help us in the middle if need be.
Speaking with Lipscomb baseball coach Jeff Forehand here on Coach's Corner, presented from the Heart Cafe over in Chapel Hill. And Jeff, looking up and down your roster, I guess really it's no different than anybody else's roster in 2022 when you see the number of transfers. I mean, the transfer portal is a thing now, and you've got a number of four-year guys, which I guess that's always kind of been the case in baseball, but it's even more so now. Number of Power 5 transfers on your roster. How do you get those guys acclimated, in a quick manner and get everybody headed in the same direction?
Wow, that's probably a whole show we could do on that and the transfer portal and how it kind of started out and what college baseball has kind of morphed into in the last couple of years. But we had some good good luck with the portal. We had some guys, some Power 5 guys come in, but actually we lost a couple too that nobody recognizes that are playing in the SEC right now that are pitching for some teams there. Great kids and the opportunity, and there was no ill will with that, but it's just where we are and the opportunity for kids to transfer and to move around, and it's just where it is at this moment. And we did a lot of work in the transfer portal. We got college baseball is older now. Unfortunately for the high school kid, it's harder, for the high school kid because now, we have a shortened draft. The COVID year we had 5 rounds of the draft, and last year we had 20 rounds of the draft. So we're missing out on, what was normally, it used to be 80 rounds of the draft, and now we got guys that are still now playing Division I baseball that could be, 2 years, 1 and 2 year pros that are still in the system. So college baseball as a whole is just so much better from top to bottom. I think because they're playing, instead of playing with, mostly 19 and 20-year-olds, we're playing with, 22, 23, sometimes 24-year-olds that are, have been around the block a little bit more. So transfer portal has made it interesting, but it's definitely it's different than it was. But I just think you look at it as a whole, and you're playing with older guys. Most teams are playing with older guys after everybody got the year back, and then some guys that would have moved on to pro ball are still in the system. So just good up top to bottom college baseball. But yeah, we did a lot of work in the portal, but also we got some freshmen that are one guy on the mound that's helping us out a little bit as a freshman. But it is, as a whole, it's gotten older.
And when you say that, Jeff, you say it's gotten older. How does that affect your recruiting? Because I saw an article on football recruiting yesterday, and a college coach was quoted as saying, if I lose a junior, I've got to replace him with a junior. I mean, the game is getting older, the kids are getting older, and
Right.
So you're not necessarily looking at summer league ball in terms of incoming freshmen at this point.
Well, we are. I mean, you can't ever stop the development for the guy that's going to be in your program for 4 or 5 years. Such that freshman that comes in, we've still got the classes just aren't as big in the last couple of years for us as they have been with the freshman class. Just simply because you've got a guy that could be in junior college or play in Division I or transfer from a 4-year school that comes in with, if he's a position player, he may come in with 300 or 400 at bats, and that's really hard for a high school kid to be prepared, to play at the Division I level when these kids that are transferring over have already got the experience. So that's one thing that is definitely helpful, because you've got a guy that that he doesn't come in with no experience, and there's no substitute for that experience. And these freshmen are just having, at some places not, that you're just having to wait. So, and I think that can be good on one end, but also bad when, there's just a whole nother segment, a whole nother, recruiting scheme out there, rather than what it used to be. We're going to bring in mostly freshmen, and we'll try to fill some holes with a junior college guy or an occasional transfer. But the portal and the grad transfer and all the things that have happened, where college baseball is, I don't know that we're going in. I don't know that it's the right direction, because I think we might be going down a hole with that. And you add the NIL to the whole thing. We're putting ourselves in a situation that we might not be able to get out of, because, as you guys well know, sometimes it gets it takes on a mind of its own. And as that starts developing more and more, these kids are getting paid to be able to stay in college. We might be going down a rabbit hole we can't get out of.
It's interesting that you say that, because I'm not sure if it might have been basketball that we were talking with, but coaches saying that they basically have to have 2 different scouts. You've got one high school recruiting coordinator and one portal guy who's just combing the portal all day long. So I know that it can be difficult for everybody, especially in baseball, when you have to deal with the scholarship limitations that you guys have. That is that is part of it that makes such a big difference, because if you can give an incoming junior some scholarship money that maybe he wasn't getting at a 4-year school or at a Power 5 school, let's say, instead of taking a chance on a freshman, it's just easier for you to do that, and makes you more competitive in the long run.
That's right. You hit the nail on the head. And, it's that fine line between, we can't stop recruiting these freshmen because we have to develop them, but also, for all us coaches, we all want to win now, and the more experience that you have, it only makes sense that you put yourself in a better, percentage bracket to win games when you got guys that have gotten some experience. And I think that's we've been pretty successful with that. But to answer y'all's question from the beginning, it did take a while for us, I think. Fortunately, we're different than football and basketball. We have them for a full fall, and, we can kind of start developing that chemistry, start developing that teamsmanship that, that teams that I've been a part of for so long that we've had to work on. And I think, quite honestly, why we've been successful at not necessarily just at Lipscomb, but we try to create that family atmosphere. And that's hard to do when you bring in. I think this year we had 27 new players, and that's that's a hard thing, and that's something that it can't happen like that all the time because it's just such a turnover, and you gotta have that core group that sticks with you that is helping us maintain that culture that we're trying to get to. But our guys this year have really worked hard at that. I've challenged them from the beginning because knowing that was going to be our biggest obstacle is how quickly can having over half of your team new, how quickly are we going to be able to implement some of the things that our program is about and get everybody on the same page. And I think we're about to get there because I don't think we've played our best baseball yet, but I think we're well on our way.
Mo, he is a unicorn in the world these days, a Music City native, and he's been everywhere. Belmont player, got a degree from Tennessee State, coached at Trevecca, now at Lipscomb, started as an assistant in the NBA, coached Good Pasture.
Now he coached with his dad at MBA, and he coached that Good Pasture program and has done a great job everywhere he's been. Jeff Forehand with us here on Coach's Corner, presented by From the Heart Cafe over in Chapel Hill. His Lipscomb Bison's on the road this weekend at Jacksonville State, 6 o'clock.
Sorry, Coach. Stay cocky. Jacksonville State grad, Coach. I'm sorry.
6 o'clock Friday, 6 o'clock Saturday, 1 o'clock finale on Sunday. All three of those games can be seen on ESPN+. Jeff Forehand, Lipscomb Baseball. Coach, appreciate you spending some time with us.
Mo, always great to talk to you, my friend, and I really appreciate you guys having me, and it means the world that you guys have called and had me on. So thanks again, and hopefully, Mo, we can catch up soon.
Absolutely. Sounds good, man. Good luck this weekend.
Thanks, my friend. See ya.
Is he off? Is he off yet, JP?
Mm-mm.
Bad luck this weekend, Coach.
Yes, he's off.
You're awful. You're awful.
No, let's
he lives the creed. He stays cocky.
It's a good thing he couldn't actually see us and see the JSU
right in front of me.
helmet right there. Maybe we can get a Lipscomb football helmet to go with.
We should get one.
Yeah, to go with that Braves football helmet.
Absolutely. Oh man, we're going to take a quick break because we do want to get back into our top story a little bit before we move into the second half, and I want to talk about those rules changes, tweaks. I'm not sure, but all of that when we come back. Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint, returns after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Nobody covers high school sports quite like Main Street Preps, bringing you hyper-local coverage of the teams and athletes in your backyard. Wherever your Main Street is, well, we got a podcast for you. From the Sumner County Sports Podcast with Zach Womble, Casey's Take on Sports with Dixon Post and Cheatham County Exchange's sports reporter Casey Patrick, the MSP North Podcast with Brady McAtamney and Blaine Keller, covering Montgomery and Robertson counties, to Main Street Preps this week with Russell Venozzi and Tyler Palmatier with a macro view of prep sports in Middle Tennessee. Find the latest prep sports news from your Main Street at mainstreetpreps.com and find these podcasts dropping weekly on these same Main Street media social platforms and wherever you get your podcast. Now back to a couple of guys that know a thing or two about prep sports in their own right. The Hall of Famer and Sports Writer of the Year, Mo Patton, and Chris Yao, some kid from Alabama.
Welcome back in. It is Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint. I am from Alabama, as a matter of fact.
Yep.
Mo, we talked about it, is our top story of the day. Jay Wright is stepping away from college basketball, retiring from Villanova, and the Wildcats have hired Fordham's Kyle Neptune. I guess Mars wasn't available. I got nothing. So we got Mr. Neptune.
I don't Coach Neptune.
Coach Neptune,
Yeah.
because again, Coach Jupiter was unavailable.
I got nothing. That was quick, though.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure exactly what.
How long did they know? And well done for keeping that secret for however long they knew. I also like I got a CBS notification. It says Villanova informs Fordham's Kyle Neptune it will be its next head coach. And I'm like, did they just tell him? Like, does Kyle know this?
Well,
like, I don't know.
I mean, I guess. Was he going to say no?
Probably not. It's Fordham, Villanova. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
But
Yeah.
as a matter of fact, we did. We just told him he's our next head coach, and you're going to like it.
Dude, look here. Coach Wright is leaving, and you're taking his place.
I need to talk to
Any questions?
I mean, clearly not.
You cool with that? You know?
I mean, he obviously was.
Well, I mean, he's 37 years old.
Which is half the age of Jay Wright. or the
Unbelievable.
exact age of Jay Wright if you're going by what he looks like.
He was only there this 1 year. But so apparently he began his coaching career, looking at his wiki. Started his career in 2008 as a video coordinator under Wright and was on the staff for their 2009 Final Four appearance. 3 years as an assistant at Niagara, came back, was an assistant 8 years at Villanova. Was on staff for both the 2016 and 2018 national championships. Replaced former Eastern Kentucky coach Jeff Neubauer at Fordham last year. And was there for the one season where Fordham went 16-16 in the A10, not to be confused with the A-Sun.
Oh, right. There.
Yeah. So yeah. 37-year-old Kyle Neptune is the guy.
Good for him. Happy for him.
I mean, if he stays there as long as the last two guys, I mean, I'm pretty sure that Jay Wright succeeded Raleigh Massimino, who was there forever. So they have
Pittsburgh Steeler-esque.
Yeah.
They don't hire coaches very
often.
It's kind of like field goals. We don't kick too many of those. Coaches, we don't hire too many of those.
Clearly not. So
there you go. In other topics of conversation, the NCAA Playing Rules Oversight Panel on Wednesday approved football measures intended to strengthen the accuracy of targeting, limit blocking below the waist, and address teams that appear to fake injuries to gain an advantage. Obviously, big topic of conversation here in the state of Tennessee. Unfortunately, the NCAA did basically nothing about it.
No. Really?
Surprise, surprise. Here is their solution currently. There is now a reporting and investigation process. Schools and conferences will be able to report questionable scenarios to the National Coordinator of Officials, who will review and provide feedback to the conference for further action. Any penalties levied would be up to the conference, office, or school involved.
But nothing in game.
Nothing in game.
I mean, I'm not sure what exactly that solves.
But nothing. They considered several in-game options, such as removing the student athlete for more than one play. Currently, they're required to sit at least one play. The concept was debated at length, but the committee was concerned with the additional issues that could be created and did not want to encourage players to continue to participate while injured.
Okay.
So there you go. Yeah. That's what they came up with. There's also an added appeals process for someone who is removed from a contest in the second half due to targeting. They haven't fixed the targeting rule, but if you think you were unfairly ejected from the game in the second half due to targeting, you can appeal it. And if a panel rules that you were unfairly removed, then you can play in the first half of the next week. Doesn't change the fact that the targeting rule in itself is a problem. It's not a good rule as it is.
As it's written, yeah.
So you've done nothing, because if you don't change the rule, I don't think that the officials, even after the replay process, are getting that wrong. They're applying the rule.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the thing. They're applying the rule. The rule is bad.
Right. So anyway.
Yeah.
Also, if a ball carrier simulates a feet first slide, officials will declare the runner down at that point. So the what's his name? I almost said Kyle Pitt, but no.
No, it's the quarterback. From
Kenny Pickett.
Kenny
Pickett rule.
Yeah, there you go.
Anyway, let's take a break. It's halftime. Talk about food delivery, because if we're not talking about sports, we're talking about food. You all know that. So stick around. Main Street Sports Day, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint, comes back after this. This is Chris Yao with Main Street Sports Today. Every show, Mo Patton and I welcome friends from all across the sports landscape, from high school coaches and reporters to national, college, and pro sports personalities. You never know who might stop by for a chat. AP Tennessee Sports Editor, three-time Tennessee Sports Writer of the Year 2020 TSWA Hall of Famer. She covers the Titans, the Predators, the Grizzlies, college football, and hoops. Please make welcome 3 as well.
Former University of Tennessee, former Team USA Olympian, ex-Cy Young Award winner, R.A. Dickey. R.A., did I miss anything?
Man, that was sweet. Yeah, I need to listen to that before I go to bed every night. That was nice.
Has 5 sports Emmys. That's not bad for the other guy in Wham, Ryan McGee.
Other guy in Wham married the best looking girl, Bananarama. So other guy in Wham had a pretty good life.
From preps to pros, we're taking on the sports topics you care about. Tune in across Main Street Media social platforms at 2 p.m. or on demand on your podcast distribution platform of choice. Hey, welcome back in Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. It's halftime, and I want to talk about a situation down in Pinson, Alabama.
Pinson, Alabama, home of Zach Cunningham, right?
Home of Zach Cunningham and Bo, well, the last high school home of Bo Nix. But whatever.
Okay. The last.
Yeah.
He had a few, huh?
Yeah, well, he had 2.
Okay.
Scottsboro and then.
Okay. Oh, so he had 2 high school homes and 2 college homes.
Yeah. And you know what? Actually, we'll get to that later in this week or maybe early next week about transfer portal quarterbacks and where they are now, where they came from, and just kind of, dive into that. Yeah.
Kind of need a spreadsheet, don't you?
JP, show us the tweet.
There you go.
Okay, so 2 hours ago, if DoorDash brings you the wrong order, don't just take it. Tell the driver because there's someone else waiting for that food. I hope you enjoy the extra pizza and Pepsi you did not pay for. An hour later. I love living in Pinson. Someone blessed us tonight with free pizza and a bottle of Pepsi delivered to our home. I'll always enjoy living in a small town, which has twice the number of comments and about 5 times the number of reactions on Facebook. It's remarkable.
I saw that this morning. I retweeted it, so I don't know if that's how y'all saw it or not.
So Gary posted it on Facebook this morning because he's the one who initially saw the 2 back-to-back in the group. So, and then he tweeted it, and I was like, this is phenomenal. I mean, I know Brent is joking, but I choose to believe Brent is not joking. Like, are you sure he's joking? I mean, you know how those groups get. There's always that one guy. There's the Steve Price type guy. And, if you're not listening to Price's Highway, you should do that on podcast networks. But Steve, he's that guy. So Brent's probably that guy. But just because he got 100 reactions and comments, I just love it. I mean, that is peak Facebook for me. That is what I'm on Facebook for. 100%. Well done. Oh, man. Let's talk about the Major League Baseball updates. Braves on the other side, but also around the league. So, Miguel Cabrera chasing 3,000 hits. The Washington Nationals caused an uproar. All kinds of stuff going on. So, come back with us. Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint, returns after this.
Welcome in, everybody, to another fantastic edition of Mornings on Main Street. Fun show planned for today. Please tell me you know who this is.
Of course I know who it is. I mean, I just want you, let's say it together.
You have no idea, do you?
Your car broke down, you're walking.
That's true.
Hey,
is this thing on?
Hold on a second, Chris. Okay, what did I tell you about comedy?
Right. Let's do comedy. Make sure that it's funny.
It's got to be funny. I figure it's easier. It's harder for you to say no if we do this live.
I'm still waiting to meet you with the crystal, so I'll take anything.
We'll get it all done there. Thank you. As the voice of the crowd will be me as Bob Hope. and has that cute well with the pearl necklace is.
So I'm going to be Russell Brand, and I just want to go ahead and give a preface that might be really annoying. So
Okay.
All right.
It's preface.
Preface.
Preface is what happens when your girlfriend's going out on the town and you're like, hey, get ready. Say, gotta put my face on. Grilled ground lamb and beef wrapped in lavish and topped with a savory tomato
It's
sauce.
lavash.
What is that?
Lavash.
I told you, you're dealing with the redneck country boy on this side over here of the screen.
That's okay.
All right, we made it the second half here on Main Street Sports today. Coming up, our daily Braves reports. We'll also talk with former Braves reliever Eric O'Flaherty. Will be joining us. Also, some sanctions for a couple of Tennessee schools, that and so much more. It's the Thursday edition, second half, on this April 21st, 2022. Back to the Hall of Famer Mo Patton and the Sundrop kid from Alabama, Chris. Yeah, see, I do learn. I do learn.
I'm not going to get into it, but the Johnny Depp situation that we talked about, he kept saying things that would be considered hearsay in court, and eventually he was like, "Oh, that's hearsay, right? I'm learning."
I'm learning.
So he would look at the defense attorney to see if he was going to object for hearsay before he kept going with the story.
No sense in me getting into this if you're going to tell me it's hearsay and I can't finish it anyway.
Yeah.
So, self-censor.
It was truly remarkable to watch. Anyway,
Wow.
Yesterday the Atlanta Braves dropped the series with the Dodgers. They've not won a series this year. They've either split or lost 3 consecutive now. But they currently post a 6-8 record, which the last 2 times that they had a 6-8 record to start the year, they won 100 games, Mo. So if history repeats itself.
Regardless of what they're on pace for right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
we don't mess with the on-pace numbers when you're the Braves.
Don't worry about it.
Because at some point they're going to win 15 of 16 or some stupid number like that.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Well, and again, it can't be overstated. I mean, Ronald Acuna is not far away.
2 weeks probably, give or take.
Maybe.
15 days.
Maybe.
That's true. He looked so good the other day. I don't know how long he needs to rehab. I mean, if he's playing at 100% in Gwinnett, why can't he play at 100% in Atlanta? That's
There's
my
no
question.
sense in wasting that on the stripers,
especially when you've got guys like Alex Dickerson in the lineup. So there's that.
Yeah. So yeah, and he's not far off. Just got Jesse Chavez back yesterday.
Yeah,
they're putting the band back together.
At least Tukey and Dylan Lee got to fly back with the team.
Well, and at least they got 2 days of Major League salary.
Experience. Yeah. So there's
per
that.
diems.
We'll take all of that.
Yeah, I mean, hey, so
I feel bad for those guys, but
but Jacksonville, which is where the stripers are, L.A. If you're not going to play anyway, where would you rather be?
I don't know, maybe Jacksonville. It's a little crowded in L.A., man. I don't know. At least it's Dodger Stadium. Look, you get a chance to be in Dodger Stadium, you want to be there.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
that's yesterday. Not a great day for Charlie Morton, but not a terrible day either. Just couldn't get the offense going at any point, and without Austin Riley in the lineup, that certainly hurts you. So you just kind of take that one and move on, come back east, and get ready to start some division series.
Yeah, got Miami coming in for 3 starting tomorrow, and then the Cubbies for 3 after a Monday off day.
So Jesse Chavez,
his former team.
helping us out on the scouting report, I guess.
Yeah,
That'd be good.
Hopefully, yeah.
Couple of things here. Miguel Cabrera nearing 3,000 hits. He has 2,999. So, of course, in the bottom of the 8th inning, the Yankees intentionally walked him.
And apparently forgot where they were because they're playing in Detroit, and the Tiger faithful none too happy.
Well, it's funny because Detroit and New York, very similar fan bases, right? I mean, you expect that kind of thing from 3 different fan bases. You expect from Detroit, New York, and Philadelphia. You're gonna get pretty rough if you're at Yankee Stadium or in Philly or in Detroit. That's how they roll.
You're gonna catch it, and sure enough, Aaron Boone did. So.
Oh, there's no question. And then the next batter hits a bloop, 2-run, 2 RBIs. So there you go. That's called serendipity. It's unfortunate that that Miggy will not get his 3,000th today, barring any.
They got the Rockies coming in tomorrow, though, I think. So,
but
it's just a matter of time. But
he's looking to do something that only 2 other people in the history of baseball have done, Mo. I mean, Willie Mays and Hank Aaron are the only 2 people to have 3,000 hits, 500 home runs, and a career batting average of over 300. He can accomplish that with 1 more hit.
It's pretty solid. That's pretty strong company right there.
I mean, if there's only 3, and it's those 2 and you, feeling pretty good.
So I'm surprised that you're not pointing out that he's the first player not from Alabama to
not from
achieve that.
Mobile.
Exactly. Yeah, Baldwin County. Yep.
Coming in strong.
So
that's interesting. But yeah, I'm feeling good for Miggy. If there was anybody who could do something like this, I'd want it to be him. He's just been a class act for a long time and a great ball player.
Quietly.
Outside of that 1 year, somebody called him the Dirk Nowitzki of MLB, and I thought it's a pretty accurate comparison because he's just kind of been really good
off the
for
radar.
a long time. And,
Detroit doesn't get a whole lot of national notoriety. Neither did Dallas when Nowitzki was there. So yeah, that's a pretty good comp.
It really is.
Yeah.
So anyway, and then finally, before we get to a break, real quick, the Nationals yesterday.
Nat's gonna nat.
They scheduled this whole elaborate paratrooper parachute situation and apparently forgot to tell the U.S. Capitol. So Capitol Police evacuate the entire United States Capitol because a tweet went out that said it was a probable threat to the Capitol building. Not a potential, not a possible, a probable threat to the Capitol. Because they had just circled for so long. And then the Nationals tweet out, "Here they come," and it's just paratroopers down onto the field. It's truly a work of art in Washington, D.C.
As only the Nationals can, really.
Nationals. As only D.C. can.
Yeah.
I mean, if there was any place in the world where that could happen, it's Washington, D.C. Mo, before we get out of here, you got to tell us what happened today in Braves history.
April 21st, 1982, rallying from a 3-run deficit, the Braves defeated visiting Cincinnati 4-3 at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium to set a record with their 13th straight victory to open the season, a mark later matched by the 1987 Milwaukee Brewers. Chris Chambliss homered in the 5th to make it a 3-1 game, with Rafael Ramirez adding the sexy 7th-inning sac fly. Before Claudell Washington's 2-out base hit scored Ramirez and Brett Butler for the walk-off win. 13 straight to open. My senior year, I remember stopping by a convenience store on the way to school to pick up a paper, won't mention the name of it, just to see what the Braves did the night before.
Those were the days.
Those were the days. It's fun stuff. Yeah.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We've got Eric O'Flaherty, host of 755 is Real podcast and former Braves reliever. So stick around on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. We will be back after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee. Because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net. Welcome back in Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yao alongside Mo Patton, JP Plant, back in the Berg, but pushing all the buttons, all the right ones. And we're glad to have you guys with us here as we count down this Throwback Thursday to the end of the show. But we've got a couple of segments left, including this next one where we have a special guest coming to you. He is the pride of Walla Walla, Washington. No question there. And the Sultan of the Sinker, host of the 755 is Real podcast, and, of course, 1/3 of the greatest, the original greatest bullpen in Braves history, O'Ventbrel. It is Eric O'Flaherty. Eric, thanks for joining us, man.
Yeah, how you guys doing?
Doing well, Eric. Appreciate you spending some time with us. Since Chris brought up O'Ventbrel, what's your favorite nickname? Do you like O'Ventbrel, or are you liking the night shift that they've got going now?
I think the night shift's a way cooler nickname. You know, my my co-host on that 755 is Real podcast. Actually, the host. I'm the co-host. Dave kind of just threw that together, and you know, we needed something cooler, but nothing really popped up, and then people kind of ran with that, so we got stuck with it. But I think the night shift sounds a lot cooler for sure.
They have definitely shut things down when they've had the opportunity. Haven't had as many opportunities as Braves fans would like to this point. 6-8 coming out of that Dodgers series, but got to really like what that bunch has done to this point.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I think it hurts a little bit losing Luke, but they brought in Kenley. Strider looks really good. I really don't see him skipping a beat because they're so deep as they are. And then moving Will Smith, I out of that closer role allows them to have, three really dominant lefties they can bring in any time from the 6th to the 8th inning. So I think it'll be just as strong this year without Luke.
You mentioned Spencer Strider. Is there any chance that he gets a shot at maybe opening some games or maybe even going a little longer than 3 innings?
I would think so. I mean, the way he's throwing the ball, I don't think you want to limit him to the bullpen, even though it's nice, like that game he had in San Diego gave the rest of the pen, a break, having him go 3 innings. But anytime a guy's as young as he is and throwing the ball the way he is, I think you got to at least exhaust that option of him being a starter before you limit him to the pen. So I would think he'll get some starts this year for sure.
Interesting.
Obviously a lot of moving parts with the pitching staff for the Braves right now. Enoa just getting sent down earlier this week. Tuki Toussaint and Dylan Lee going back down today, I guess. Sean Newcomb being traded to the Cubs. Jesse Chavez coming back. I mean, Anthopoulos can do no wrong, it feels like right now.
I mean, it's even the Freeman thing, man. He pretty much made the one move you could make where it doesn't hurt, and you can't really question it, because getting a player like Matt Olson and extending him immediately, I mean, that really softened the blow of losing Freddie. I really can't think of too many things to criticize AA about, to be honest with you.
Having said that, 6 and 8. How, Eric, and you've been in a lot of major league clubhouses, obviously, how do you not buy into all of the panic button pushing that's going on out here with folks so upset about having not won a series yet, that kind of thing?
Well, I don't know if you have a better example than the team not being over 500 till, what was it, August last year?
Right.
So, I mean, if you can look at last season and see they won the World Series, I don't know how you can realistically convince yourself you should panic this early in the year. I know it's natural, and teams want to see the team playing well, but, just look at last season. They played as bad as they did for a good portion of the year, and then they got hot at the right time and won the World Series. So it's just, it's hard to remember, especially when you're watching other sports and every game matters. And I'm not saying every game doesn't matter in baseball, but there is so much time in a major league season. You have plenty of 6 and 8 spurts throughout the year that, it's all amplified when it happens in April, when you're playing like this in April. But I mean, for me, there's zero panic.
It's and for a person who likes to panic, Eric, it's always great to hear that, because obviously games in April matter just as much as games in August, but they only matter to the record necessarily. They don't, or to the postseason seeding maybe. But
right.
If you're playing better in August, that's really what counts. This Braves club, as we mentioned in the last segment, Mo, the last time they started 6 and 8, they won 100 games. So
yeah.
This, and that's the kind of stuff that Braves fans have to just kind of, take a breath, take a beat, and say, look, Ronald Acuna is coming back in the next 2
weeks,
or sooner. I mean, as well as he's playing right now, he looks great down in Gwinnett. But it just feels like this team, as good as it is and as talented as it is still not as talented as it could potentially be. And you're still sitting at 6 and 8 coming off a West Coast road trip.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's like I said, there's zero panic. And I think one of the things you really try hard to do, even with your stats individually as a major league player, is never, we call it riding the roller coaster, where you have, a bad start, a couple bad weeks. The guys that get emotional and ride those highs and lows, the season just beats the crap out of them. Mentally, physically, you can't be that invested in the day-to-day, even though, I'm sure, as a fan, it gets frustrating. But, I mean, it's you got what? So you're through 14 games. So you got what, 148 left? You just have to keep it in perspective, and it gets easier and easier as a player as you go along because you've had a bad season and turned it around, had some slumps and turned them around. But I get it. I get that it's frustrating as a fan, but there's zero reason to panic right now.
Good to hear. Thank you. I appreciate it. I needed someone else besides Mo to tell me not to panic.
Well, someone who's lived it. I mean, speaking here on Main Street Sports today with former Braves reliever Eric O'Flaherty, co-host of the 755 is Real podcast with the Athletics Braves beat writer David O'Brien. So this guy, if anybody knows living it, it's this guy. And little known fact, between stints with the Braves, Eric O'Flaherty also a former Nashville Sound. So spent some time.
I never set foot there though. I think they just put me on the roster.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
When I was going through your stuff on the baseball cube, I saw, because I didn't remember it, but
Nope.
so how did that go down?
Well, I think I was just rehabbing from Tommy John. So they kind of shuffle you onto different rosters when you're on the 60-man. I honestly, I don't know how that happened, and I can't explain it, but I know I never set foot in Nashville. But I heard it's an awesome place to play.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
It's not bad now.
Yeah, well, I was about to say it might have been when you would have been on the team.
I don't
probably
remember
not.
if you would have been at First Horizon Park or if you would have been at Greer Stadium with those Nashville Sounds, but huge difference.
Well, the new park, pretty much, I was with the A's at the time.
Okay,
and
so
anybody that went there was like, some guys didn't even want to get called up to the big leagues. They were having so much fun in Nashville.
Man, we have a blast. There's no question there, man. Eric, the game of baseball is changing as far as, especially in Atlanta where we've seen the mix it up and, the sword swipes and that sort of thing from the players. Here in Tennessee, the Tennessee Volunteers have certainly made a spectacle of themselves and the game of baseball. How do you feel about the way the game is changing and evolving and it looks like guys are just having more fun?
It doesn't bother me at all. I think you're kind of taught that the game's supposed to be played a certain way for so long that initially, your instinct is to fight it. And more than anything, just question, why are these guys getting away with stuff I couldn't? But I look at how the game's being played and how many more young players you see come up and have success immediately. I mean, it was when I was coming up as a rookie, 2006, it was a tough league to break into because you had a lot of salty vets that were just you're walking on eggshells in the clubhouse. You sit on the wrong couch and you're getting yelled at, so it was pretty tough to feel comfortable. And then you come into a major league game and you're on the field with all these guys that you don't think even want you there. So that was definitely, tough it was a tougher game to break into. And when I see these guys having fun and managers really not getting wrapped up in too much, I think as a whole, it's been good for the game because most of the time the young players are more exciting, like a guy like Acuna coming up and people love all his antics, so for me, I don't get too hung up on it. I think you just have to accept change and accept that it's good for the game. And that's kind of been the mindset I've taken toward it all.
I love what you said about the young guys being the most excited, and you referenced 2006, Eric. 2005, the baby Braves,
right?
The infusion of energy and excitement that those guys constantly coming up from AAA and AA gave that team. Just that infusion can make a difference. Did make a difference that year. It felt like,
right? Yeah, and it's just a change that's happened in the game, and I think more than anything, you're trying to grow the game, and if that's what gets kids interested in it, then I think it's a good thing.
Well, some things have changed, some things have not changed, and as many people have seen on Twitter and the rest of the internet, Texas college baseball game where a pitcher decided to absolutely just. I don't even know. I don't have a word for it. He speared him coming around third base. And I'm just curious, Eric, what player would you have? Do you feel like you just wanted to spear at some point? If it were legal and you could just have done that, who would it have been?
Most of the time myself. You have a rough
I was
game.
really hoping for Yachty.
No, I mean, I saw that play, and I'd like to know the whole story because it didn't look like that guy really did too much. I don't know if he said something in the pitcher's direction or if the guy was just mad he gave up a grand slam or whatever it was, but that's a play I've never really seen before. But I really hope that dude's okay because he got just absolutely leveled.
He got up and crossed home plate, so I'm proud of him for that at least. I don't know if
I'm gonna finish my home run.
I don't know which of the 4 plates he touched when he got there because I'm sure he was seeing multiples.
Yeah, I don't know if he's feeling too hot today.
Absolutely.
Oh man.
Eric O'Flaherty, former Braves reliever, co-host of the 755 is Real podcast. Appreciate you spending some time with us, coming at us from the great Pacific Northwest.
Yep, anytime, guys.
At EOF34 on Twitter, one of the best Twitter follows you can make. Go follow him, hit that button, and check out the podcast. 755 is Real. He and David O'Brien do a great job. That's going to do it for this segment. Eric, thanks, man. We appreciate it.
Yep, thanks for having me, guys.
When we come back, we're going to talk about a local baseball team whose record has certainly taken a dive in the last 24 hours. And we've been neglecting to talk about our friends out in Memphis and their NCAA allegations. So we'll get to all of that in the next segment and possibly some more. So stick around. Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint, returns after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net. Welcome back into Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yao, Mo Patton, JP Plant, here with you on this beautiful Thursday. If you are not planning to get out to a ball game this afternoon, rethink your plans. It's going to be a sensational day, I have a feeling, at the ballpark. That was a good segment with Eric. I thought he brought some great insight for especially those of us who needed to hear some of those things.
Yeah, it's nice to hear it from somebody that has the background that he has.
That's right. It is. It makes it a little bit more real. Adversity facing the Braves as they are 6-8, but not as much adversity as the Cumberland Phoenix baseball team is now facing after its record changed overnight from 28-16 to 6-38 overall and 3-17 from 17-3 in Mid-South Conference play.
You know what, though? You know what that's going to do? That's going to throw that entire Mid-South Conference tournament into
upside
turmoil
down.
Because they were sitting at 17-3. I mean,
likely the one seed.
But it had to be in the hunt for the one, and all of a sudden they're going to be in the bottom half, but should be the one.
And a good team is potentially going to get eliminated really early.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's unfortunate. There's no question there. No story on WilsonPost.com does not specify the violations.
Clearly, I mean, it had to have been an ineligible player in some way, shape, or form, and judging by the number of games, probably a position player.
Right. But they did self-report the violation, and they forfeited the 22 wins, 14 of them in Mid-South Conference play, as we said. But, you know, kudos to Cumberland for just saying, hey, look, we realize we messed up. We're here to take the consequences as they are, and the positive being that they're still going to be eligible for postseason play, likely because they self-reported.
Yeah. I mean, and sometimes you just catch this kind of thing. I mean, Columbia State had a similar situation here either last year or the year before where they realized they had played an ineligible player and self-reported it, you know, because you can either self-report it or you can wait until somebody else figures it out, and then the damage is probably even more so.
Right. And yesterday, while this is happening there, they were on the road playing 19th ranked IU Southeast, and obviously we told you earlier they got beat 18-8 by the top 25 team out of New Albany, Indiana. But it's still, again, kudos to Cumberland for self-reporting.
Yeah.
Out west, University of Memphis didn't self-report anything.
Not only did they not self-report, but they kind of fought all allegations, I guess, right?
They still are, I believe. I'm not sure that there has been a penalty or there's been a notice of allegations, and that's pretty much it right now. 4 level 4s or level 1s and 2 level 2s in relation to institutional control, which we know lack of institutional control is NCAA's favorite term. Head coach responsibility and failure to monitor.
None of those sound good.
No question there.
None of those in NCAA circles is a good thing.
This is the problem. And again, surprise, surprise, a team with Larry Brown on the bench is going through this situation. What do you look? I'm not saying anything that's not true here.
No,
the notice of allegation states that head coach Penny Hardaway, quote, failed to demonstrate that he promoted an atmosphere of compliance within the men's basketball program. So it sounds like he was just like, compliance, schmappliance. Like, I mean, we don't care. What you got, JB?
Well, you mentioned Larry Brown. In my previous life, when I was working with the Bobcats team, now the Hornets, he was the head coach.
Mm-hmm.
So I spent a couple of years with Larry Brown as the head coach. A very nice guy, by the way, and knows his
Super
basketball.
nice guy.
Yeah, knows his basketball. But obviously, it comes with a little history. I mean, you're not wrong. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Or a lot. Yeah.
A little history.
Yeah, a little history.
Yeah. Okay.
But,
so I'm okay. So apparently there is this stems from a forensic examination in Memphis that former assistant men's basketball coach Mike Miller, his hard drive was formatted on June 5th, 2020. And obviously when you format a hard drive, everything's gone. I mean, it's deleted. Then Memphis failed to conduct an adequate investigation into why the computer's hard drive was not preserved. It obviously began with the eligibility status of James Wiseman. So this is kind of where all of this comes from. And basically Memphis at this point has said, we're not going to talk about an ongoing investigation. But Mo, I mean, with all of the issues Penny Hardaway has had in his tenure to this point, this doesn't help.
When you say it doesn't help, though, I mean,
maybe it does.
What do you mean? I mean, because
you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, I guess. I mean, maybe it does help. I don't know.
I don't think anybody in the athletic administration or university administration at Memphis looks at Penny any differently at this moment than they have at any point previously.
Yeah, but
what you just said, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. It's almost like that's it might be painted on a wall somewhere down there. I don't know.
I mean, if you go back and look at their history of coaches, it's certainly
one exception,
and the history of people they fired,
and with one exception, and that one they ran off.
This is my point. Mm-hmm. So it goes to show that if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, and you ain't coaching in Memphis. Apparently, that is the third part of that.
Yeah, that's the
unwritten part,
the small print.
Yeah, nope. We don't tell you that part up front.
No. That's the quiet part being said out loud, apparently. Yeah. I mean, when you brought this guy in, that's what you brought.
You knew what was coming. I mean, you knew what was coming because he was cheating in high school as a coach. I mean, let's be honest. That's the facts. They didn't get to play in the state tournament because of it. Okay? He cheated in high school. You didn't think he was going to keep cheating in Memphis? Maybe they did think that.
Absolutely
and again,
did.
And that is why they hired him. And then they were mad because, dude, you cheating and losing.
Bad combination.
Can't do that.
No.
Guys, what did Dennis Green say?
I mean, you could take, thought they were.
Yeah, he is who we thought he was.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? You know what Herm Edwards said? You play to win the game. So
there's a lot. There's a lot here. There really is. But
the fact is that Memphis is probably going to get at least a 1-year postseason ban, and we'll see what happens to Penny.
Nothing. I mean, unless the NCAA imposes some sort of sanctions.
Yeah.
That would be the only way that apparently Penny Hardaway leaves. And this was the question that I asked during that entire process leading up to Penny being hired as coach at the University of Memphis. Clearly, the best player in the history of your program. What happens when you have to fire your legend?
Well, this is the only cover you have. right? If you need to fire him, here's at least some cover.
But I don't even know that they want to.
I don't think they want to. I'm just saying, if you need to,
they can go back to this. They can point to this and say this is the reason.
Yeah, they may not want to, but if they need to,
it's in his file.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep, yeah,
it's in his file.
It is.
Hey, don't worry. In 20 years, he can just go coach Kentucky, I guess.
Oh,
because that's what John Calipari has done. So,
wow.
Anyway,
that's a good one to get out.
Hey,
no doubt.
Chris, before we get out, I got a question. Did you? Speaking of feedback, did you get any yesterday from at home following our show?
So we talked about this off the air. Everything was good when I got home.
Okay.
Matter of fact, it seemed like everything was better than it was
hours earlier
at 3:00. So I don't know what happened on the way. I guess.
Don't ask questions.
She must have had a good interview. Is all I can tell you. I don't know.
Don't think it'll only hurt the ball club.
That's right. Don't think at all. So come hang out with us tomorrow. Of course, we've got Jeff Him, as always. Nashville Sounds play-by-play man, and much more. Do we have nobody else yet?
Not yet.
We'll figure somebody out.
Oh,
if
no.
not,
And whoever we figure out, they will be good.
that's right, because that's what we do. Y'all come hang out with us tomorrow. It's going to be a great day on Friday, so appreciate it. For JP back in the Berg and Mo, I'm Chris. Y'all have a great day. See you then.